You painted yourself into the room you're trying to escape. The tighter the walls get, the safer you feel, until you notice you can't move at all. The way you smile, perfectly timed, just as your mind's already looking for the exit. Silence fills the spaces between words you'll never say, and you're already halfway gone before anyone notices you disappearing. The first time someone sees through you, it almost feels like relief. Then it turns. Too direct, too intimate, like a searchlight peering into places you didn't agree to open. You want them to stay. You're already counting the exits. The contradiction isn't subtle, but you never let it show. Sometimes being an INFJ feels like sabotage pretending to be protection. You feel the shape of other people's moods before they speak. You catch hidden signals, the way intention shifts under polite conversation, and it all piles up. Too much, too soon. The more you understand, the less you want to talk. Connection feels like drowning in someone else's ocean, while your own shoreline keeps eroding with every feeling you absorb. You want to be understood, you default to invisible. You listen so carefully you can hear the parts they're not saying. But the moment they ask you to step forward, to share, your mind goes blank, then races in secret. The questions hang in the air, simple questions, too direct, too honest, and suddenly you're not sure if you have an answer you can give. Not without handing over a part you can't afford to lose. You sense tension before it's real. You act on warnings no one else can feel. Sometimes you're the first to leave, long before anyone knows there's something to leave from. And if someone presses closer, really close, you become pristine, careful, almost impersonal. The more they try to know you, the more you vanish inside your own camouflage. You crave depth, but when real intimacy stares back, you risk drowning in the current you once invited. You want connection. You fear permanence. You let them see you, just enough to keep their hope alive. Then you close the door, softly, so it almost sounds like love. You tell yourself it's timing. You tell yourself they wouldn't understand. Sometimes you're right, but sometimes it's you refusing to be understood. You open up, then regret the echo. Too real. When someone finally notices your distance, you blame the room, the moment, fate. Never the 1,000 micro-decisions that stacked up to keep you safe. But even as you plan your retreat, some part of you is screaming for someone to not let you go. Just this once. You long for the bond you won't let set. Your mind replays conversations long after everyone else forgets. You pick apart tiny gestures, wondering if they saw a glimpse too raw. You want to be met, not invaded. Known, but never pinned down. Every word becomes a risk calculator disguised as empathy. Sometimes your intuition isn't protection. Sometimes it's the lock on your own cell. This is the part people miss. It isn't loneliness. It's being full of others with nowhere for yourself to go. You give advice you never take, offer comfort you refuse, keep boundaries that look like kindness but taste like walls. Even when someone cares, you wonder how long until your presence becomes a memory. You feel seen and instantly unsafe. You used to think it was about finding the right person, but the pattern doesn't change. Not with different faces, not with new promises. The ending is always familiar. Too much closeness, then the slow withdrawal. The script never admits whose hand is on the curtain. You call it discernment. Sometimes it's fear. Here's the truth. It's not that you don't want to be known. It's that your guard was built before you had a choice. You learned to read the room because survival depended on it. You mastered emotional timing because honesty felt dangerous. You learned to exit before they could change the locks. You loved deep conversations until one cost you your privacy. You want to be let in, but only if you can walk out. You crave loyalty, but never conditions. You thrive in the background, quietly rewriting the rules. They think you're mysterious, sometimes wise, sometimes distant. They don't see you rehearsing confessions you'll never deliver. They don't see the calculation, when to speak, when to fade, when to let yourself be missed instead of truly held. Every connection comes with an evacuation plan. Not at the same pace. You tend to hold on to people in memory longer than you ever did in reality. You replay times you almost stayed, almost spoke, almost risked. It's never about the other person failing you. It's about how easily you can make their love obsolete by slipping out a side door they don't even know exists. Sometimes your standards become distance. Sometimes your empathy is just another escape route. Sometimes you're protecting yourself, but you're also pushing people away. You want understanding, but you'll hide your reaction the second it's unfiltered. You want their loyalty, but you question if they'd survive the real version of you. You crave being chosen, but you avoid places where you can't leave quietly. You slow down right when things begin to matter. That's where it breaks. And if someone finally matches your intensity, if they show up, see through the layers, don't flinch, you might feel relief for a heartbeat, and then panic. Sometimes the thing you've wanted most is the thing you're least prepared to survive. That's the line between longing and loss. If that felt a little too real, you probably already know. You test people to see if they'll stay, then disappear when they pass. You let silence do your bidding. You can read their every mood and miss your own. You offer comfort on cue, hide panic with precision, and the only sound louder than your empathy is the way you close yourself off. It's not that the connection was too much, it reached something before it was ready. You keep waiting for someone who won't mind the doors. You keep hiding keys in places no one will ever look. Some people won't fully get this, but someone will. It didn't feel wrong. It just went deeper than you could stay open for. And if this keeps happening, you already know why.